Hi, boys and girls. Winborn again. Speaking this time from my little office. This is what I look like without a hat. And I think John Lynch said he looked to be like 77, so I must look like that crep creature or something. I just wanted to throw in here that I made it through Behind the Mask Part 2 in True Faced. There we go, True Faced with the very black, depressing cover. And so far it's been pretty tough. And a lot of it didn't make, I couldn't figure out where I fit in. But he has this exercise called a reflection exercise. I say he, right? They, Bruce, Bill, and John. A reflection exercise. And what they do is they tell you, think of a time. I hate to read it because I don't want to, mess with their copyright. But think of a time when you've acted in sin or when an act of sin was committed against you. The more vivid and real, the better. And then you're supposed to describe it and then there's an important part if you haven't resolved it, why, and then what life patterns came out of this. It's kind of a lengthy exercise, but I got to thinking about, um, I have more than just one uh, unresolved sin issue. But one of the things that I've struggled against for a long time is a hot temper. It's all the way from my youth, okay, when I was just a child. I remember being essentially, how boys sometimes will pick on other kids, pick on the nerd. I guess I was kind of a nerd, but I was also a fast nerd and a strong nerd. And they would try to pick on me or gang up on me, like in the boys' room when the teachers weren't watching. And I remember I got out of it by just losing my temper and just wailing on them, elbowing them, beating them, using my speed. And I kind of learned from that. So I had this quick temper all the way. I used it to protect myself from people who were trying to intimidate me or push me around. But then I made the mistake of getting involved in the military, thinking I was going to be something as a naval officer. And I don't know how many of you have been in the military, and in particular in the submarine service. The Navy is really bad for this. I can't speak for the other services, but the Navy is extremely bad for this. And I think maybe the submarine service is worse. You talk about a toxic, poisonous atmosphere where senior officers and senior enlisted take perverse pleasure, Schadenfreude really, insulting and demeaning and diminishing anybody they can get away with. It's like this game that never ends. The first time it occurred that I can remember, I was still a midshipman. And midshipman is what you are when you're in college, and before you get commissioned. And I went to Hawaii. The only time I've been there, I was in Oahu, and I was on a boat for a month. It was called the Sea Dragon. Now, since the Sea Dragon's been decommissioned long ago, it's a piece of garbage anyway. But this is where I first experienced this kind of poisonous atmosphere. And when you're younger, it doesn't affect you so much. Well, anyway, the officers went out one day and wanted to have this, pickup football game in the park. They're having a picnic, have some beer, playing football in the park. And there were three of us midshipmen. The other two weren't so athletic, but I had played football. And even though I wasn't particularly strong, I was fast and maneuverable. This before I lost my leg. I was so quick um, that even if you were stronger, faster, and more skilled, you had no chance, and I just danced right around you. So anyway, we're playing, and finally, I take a wide receiver position, and there was no way they could cover me. I mean, these guys, they're older, they're adults, and they're on a submarine. It's not like they work out a lot. I just blow them away. I put on the speed, make a move, leave them in their tracks, and then whoever was quarterback would just loft the ball up in the air, and like some, you know, something you'd see in the NFL, I just run underneath it, scoring on demand. Well, this happened two or three times, and I guess it pissed off the executive officer, who's a commander, an Oak Leaf commander. And so what he did was he laid in wait for me, and I had a pattern to run, and I made a move. I cut across the field. You can imagine, you see this in the NFL all the time, right? Except we're playing without pads. This is touch football. This commander waits till I turn my head to look for the ball, and he deliberately rams me in the chest, knocks the air out of me, and just jams me to the ground and stands over me with this look just daring me to get up. The man is hiding behind his oak leaves. Had I wanted to, had I actually lost my temper, had I not been able to control my temper, I could have jumped up, danced around him, and strangled his ass from behind. And I have carried that with me forever. This kind of abuse went on for the entire 10 years, 10 plus years that I was in the military. And I really hate it when somebody hides behind their oak leaves, that hides behind their authority or their rank and tries to push me around. Nothing pisses me off more. Nothing pisses me off faster. It just cycles. Now, there's supposed to be a resolution to this, but I don't know what it is because I haven't got to the next chapter yet. Apparently, in chapter 5, things start to get a little better and John and Bill and Bruce are going to show me how to resolve some of this stuff. This is only one of my issues, mind you, but I never really thought of it till now about how that's, excuse me, pursued me my whole life. Bigger people trying to pick on me, people hiding behind their rank or their alleged authority trying to pick on me, how much it really pisses me off. And I can always see the screen in my glasses when I do this. Look at that. It's like me looking at me, looking at me. It's very distracting. There we go. Now I'm completely lined up. Anyway, I just want to throw that in there. And as I read more, I guess I'll post more. Thanks. See you soon.